tired of your regular flip-flops being all lightweight and squishy? Well, do I have the product for you. Introducing concrete flip-flops. Weighing 6 times heavier than any regular flip-flop, concrete flip-flops turn regular activities into weightlifting exercises. And today, I'm going to show you how to make your very own pair. To start this process, we're going to need a 3D print a mold. There's a couple different filaments we could use, such as a rigid PLA, but I'm going to use a soft TPU. Having a soft mold will make it much easier to remove the rigid concrete. After 12 hours, the mold is ready to be removed from the build plate. The reason it takes so long is because the 3D printer has to go layer by layer to additively manufacture the mold. To speed up this process, we could use PLA, which is much faster. While that's 3D printing, now is a good time to run to the hardware store and get some concrete. I tried both of these small buckets, which just have 10 pounds, and have gotten great results from both. Don't forget your tweed. This is used for the strap. In previous projects, I would weigh out the cement and then add water accordingly. But this is pretty overkill. Now I just eyeball the amount of water. A misconception that I had about concrete when I was making my first pair of flip-flops is that concrete's a liquid that would flow around crevices and corners to form whatever I want it to be. And realistically, concrete has a consistency of a thick sludge. Another concrete tip is that if you're going to be mixing quite a bit, it could be ideal to have like some sort of stir rod for your drill. I wanted to try 3D printing my own so that way I would avoid the hardware trip, and you'll see what happens. The first 20 seconds were so amazing and it was just stirring everything perfectly, and then suddenly it just snapped off. In panic mode, I had this half-stirred concrete on my workbench, and so I just quickly grabbed a ruler as it was the only thing I had rigid enough to stir this amount of concrete. The ruler worked surprisingly well and I was able to save this amount of concrete. Anyways, that's enough concrete talk. Now it's time to apply it into the mold. I used the same ruler that I was stirring it with to gently press it into all the different crevices of the mold. And despite using the quickset concrete, I then waited 24 hours to release this flip-flop from the mold. Having a 2-part mold was really helpful here because, this thing was harder than you would think to get out. I really had to work the edges around. The last step was to thread the tweed through the holes and then carefully hot glue it in place. And then voila, you got your own pair of concrete flip-flops and you're ready to flex on all the haters. I then tried selling it on Facebook Marketplace and these were the results. After waiting for a day, it's gotten about 2,800 clicks. I then received 16 messages. Not too shabby, eh? But the problem is people were just memeing about, just saying ridiculous things. And to make matters worse, my concrete flip-flop just broke. So next week I'll be experimenting with some ways to reinforce them and make them more comfortable.